Today we're gonna rank programming languages, not by the content of their character, but by their names. What language has the best name? Is the name fun to say? Does it explain what the language is? Of course, if you don't agree with my opinion, you are wrong. We're starting out strong with assembly. It's awesome! It's a cool word that works well with programming languages because we're essentially assembling code instructions. So it's the solid A tier. Next up we got C. Yeah, some of you are going to love one-word languages just because it's tiny. C is a decent name for a language because see over here, see my code. It's not the best, but it's okay. Then we have Bash. I like to bash my keyboard a lot, so it's a solid A. Then we have COBOL. COBOL either sounds like a transformer or a final boss battle. COBOL, roll out. Yeah. It's a good name. Yeah, it goes above assembly and bash. The next language is called Lobster. I'm actually making some games with this language as we speak.
And what's so cool about the Lobster is...
But it's a really good name, Lobster. The name doesn't describe the language in any way or form, it has no connection, but it's a funny word. And they have a good mascot, so that's a solid S tier. Then we have the cow language. It's an esoteric programming language where you write moo everywhere, and it's a cool language. But the name cow, it describes the language, it's an animal, it's a solid S tier. Then we have C++. Another one-letter name, but with a bunch of pluses in it. C++. Nah, it's not fun to say. It's a C tier. Then we have C#. Also a one-letter word, but a bit less cluttered. So it's a better than C++. And I guess it's a bit more descriptive because C#. Yeah, you see sharper with C. C tier. CSS is not a programming language, but it's a language nonetheless. What does it actually stand for? I don't know. It stands for Cascading Style Sheets. That doesn't flow off the tongue well, that's a garbage tier. Then we have the D language. It's a random letter. It's worse than C because D doesn't mean anything, but C means something. It's above C#, but it goes in the C tier. Golang. Go is just a two-letter word, but it means a lot of things. You go, girl.
I like his idea of ironically saying you go, girl. You go, girl.
Low A tier. Okay. Then we have Rust, the best programming language in the world. But we're ranking it from its name. Rust is a bit cooler than Go, because Rust is cool. Yeah, it goes right in the middle of A tier. Then we got Haskell. Haskell. Hey, what were you doing this weekend? I programmed in Haskell. That's a garbage name. I'm sorry, okay. After Haskell we got HTML. HTML. What does it actually stand for? I don't know. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Yeah, it's not that fun to say. It goes between CSS and Haskell. What can I say? Jai. I don't think Jai has a logo yet, but it's made by Jonathan Blow, and it looks like a really cool language. The name, however, I like it, because you can say it Yay! Yay! It's like, yay! It's a good name. It's a high A tier, I'm gonna put it right on top. There we go. Then we got Java. For the longest time I had no idea Java had anything to do with coffee, but I like coffee. I need some caffeine. And Java is a nice short word, so it's a good name. It goes right before Golang. Next up we got JavaScript, or you can also say yes. Okay, don't say that. JavaScript, it's a bit too verbose for me. It goes right there with the C. Next we have Kotlin. Kotlin. That's a weird word. Where does that come from? The name Kotlin comes from Kotlin Island. Kotlin is harder to say than Haskell, so it goes right over there. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Lua. Lua also means moon in Portuguese. So I mean, that's cool. It's a three-letter word. It's nice to say. It's easy to say. It's definitely above C, but I don't have any relations to this word, so it's gonna go into the B tier. Next up, we got monkey. It's a solid S tier. Now, Monkey is actually a programming language that you build yourself. It's a language used to teach you how to write programming languages. The name is just funny. I mean, it's a monkey. It's an S tier. What can I say? Then we got Odin. Yeah, Odin as in the Nordic god. And it's a cool name. Yeah, it's a bit cooler than COBOL. It's a bit easier to say. Then we have a Perl, and Perl is spelled not like a pearl, but like pearl. I like pearls. Pearls are really cool, but this is spelled like pearl. I think that notched the name down a bit. But let's look where the name comes from actually. Okay, so Perl was originally named Perl. Wall wanted to give the language a short name with positive connotations. However, Wall discovered the existing Perl programming language before Perl's official release and changed the spelling of the name. Poor guy. It still sounds the same. If Perl had an A in it, it would be like somewhere in here, but because it doesn't have an A, unfortunately it goes below Golang. Carbon, the mystery language, I think developed by Google. Carbon is a pretty cool word. I mean, it's like Rust, it's like coal. Carbon, yeah, it's cool. Carbon is a bit more verbose than Rust. I mean, yeah, it has like one letter more, but hey, that's how I put it, okay? PHP or PEP. PEP. That's not a good name. What does it stand for? PHP was originally an abbreviation of personal homepage. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. PEP definitely goes last. I'm not putting it there because I don't like the language. I'm putting it there because the name is not that good. Python. Python is cool. It's dangerous. You like to play with fire. It's a high tier. Python is gonna go right here after COBOL. Then we got Ruby. Nice short name. It's a mineral. It's a good name. I think it goes right in front of Java because Java is not a word I use a lot. Not Ruby either, but I mean, the name has a value in it. Next we have Squeal, or SQL as most people like to pronounce it, but Squeal is more fun to say. Now SQL is not that fun to say. It's a pretty low tier, but if we say Squeal, it's definitely higher on the list. I think Squeal definitely goes in the B tier, but if we used SQL, it goes in the top of the D list. So let's put it B tier for Squeal. TypeScript. It has something to do with the language. You use types. So it's a good descriptive name, but it's not that fun. If you use the shorthand, yeah, that's a good name. Just because it's descriptive and you can say it goes in the B tier, right after Squeal. Last but not least, we have ass. I do not remember putting that in there. Ignore that. Okay. That's all the languages I put on this list. What should you take out from this video? Well, if you make a programming language, then you should use an animal as the language name. I wanna see a caterpillar, bug. Is there a language named bug? I need to find this out. There's no language called bug. Guys, make a language and call it bug, and it will go definitely in the top tier list. Big shout out to my Patreons: Tainser, Raisin, David Klosterman, Terpsicora, Turbo Waffle, Garrett Stefan, Avarian Knight, Afax, Senkwich, Ledo, Alexander Westergaard Eriksen. Also thank you to my level 2 Patreons. Why are your names so cool? And my level 1 Patreons.